Few countries compress as much contrast and wonder within their borders as Pakistan. Here, the world's geography seems to have folded in on itself, from the turquoise line of the Arabian Sea to the snowbound summits of the Karakoram. Between them lie deserts, river plains, forests, and megacities. A country carved by time, faith, and extraordinary resilience. At its northern edge, mountains rise like a wall of stone and light. The Himalaya, the Hindu Kush, and the Karakoram. This is the rooftop of the world, home to 5 of Earth's 14 peaks over 8,000 meters, including K2, the savage beauty that challenges even the best mountaineers. From these glaciers are born rivers that feed an entire nation. The mighty Indus and its tributaries, lifelines that flow south through fields of wheat and cotton before emptying into the Arabian Sea. To the south, the landscape shifts abruptly, dramatically. The green plains of Punjab give way to the golden dunes of Sindh and the barren vastness of Balochistan. The country stretches nearly 900,000 square kilometers, a land that could fit the Alps, the Sahara, and a Mediterranean coastline all at once. Pakistan is home to over 220 million people. More than 70 languages are spoken here. Urdu, Punjabi, Sindhi, Pashto, Balochi, Saraiki, and dozens more in valleys and villages that rarely appear on maps. Each province tells a different story. In Punjab, life follows the rhythm of the rivers, fertile farmlands, ancient cities, and the spiritual heart of Sufism. Sindh hums with trade and tolerance, its history tied to ports, merchants, and one of humanity's first urban civilizations. Balochistan, vast and silent, is Pakistan's wild frontier. Mountains hide marine fossils and desert winds carve stone cathedrals. And Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, gateway to the passes of Central Asia, still echoes with tales of warriors, poets, and traders who once crossed the Silk Route. High above them all, Gilgit-Baltistan floats in another world. Valleys of apricot blossoms and peaks that pierce the clouds. Pakistan's story is not only about geography, it is about crossroads, a meeting place of empires, religions, and travelers. The Persian kings marched through here. So did Alexander the Great, the Mongols, the Mughals, and the British. Each left something behind: a fort, a language, a recipe, a song, all woven into a culture that refuses to be one thing alone. For the traveler, this land offers both the familiar and the unknown. You can wander the narrow lanes of Lahore's walled city, then stand before glaciers in Hunza the next day. You can hear temple bells in Sindh and Qawwali in Multan. You can sip chai in a Karachi cafe beside the sea, or watch the sun rise over the Karakoram peaks that seem to scrape the sky. Yet what ties it all together isn't geography or history. It's the people, warm, curious, endlessly hospitable. From mountain shepherds who offer bread to passing trekkers, to city shopkeepers who insist you try another cup of tea, Pakistan welcomes with a sincerity that surprises even the most seasoned travelers. This is a land of energy and endurance, where the ruins of one civilization lie beside the foundations of another, where minarets rise beside ancient stupas, and markets pulse with 1,000 smells: cardamom, dust, diesel, roses. In every direction, there's a story waiting. a fort standing against sandstorms, a shrine glowing in candlelight, a valley that remembers the first footprints of humanity. Our journey begins here, at the meeting point of the world's highest mountains, the oldest civilizations, and one of the youngest nations. This isn't a postcard of Pakistan. It's a passage through it, through its cities, deserts, mountains, and hearts. Because here, history doesn't live in museums. It breathes in the wind, travels in caravans, and whispers through the stones. Welcome to Pakistan, a country shaped by contrast, powered by resilience, and defined by its endless ability to surprise. High in the northernmost reaches of Pakistan, between the mighty Karakoram and Hindu Kush ranges, lies a valley so breathtaking that travelers have called it the Shangri-La of the North. This is Hunza, a small former kingdom in Gilgit-Baltistan. Perched at nearly 2,400 meters above sea level, surrounded by peaks that seem to float among the clouds. To reach it, the road winds along the Karakoram Highway, tracing the path of the old Silk Route. Around every bend, the landscape shifts, rivers turn to ribbons of turquoise. Cliffs rise in sheer walls, and snow peaks gleam like mirrors of light. Here stand some of the world's most striking mountains. Rakaposhi at 7,788 meters, whose white dome dominates the horizon. And Ulter Sar at 7,388 meters, towering above the valley floor. Life in Hunza unfolds at a slower rhythm. The Hunza River runs quietly below, nourishing terraced fields of barley, wheat, and the famous apricot orchards that turn the valley into a sea of pink and white each spring. Villages cling to steep slopes, linked by paths that wind past stone walls and fruit trees. The people here, the Barusho, are known for their warmth, their simple living, and according to legend, their remarkable longevity. Generations have lived from the same land for centuries, sustained by glacial water and a diet of grains and fruits. While modern science may question the myths of immortality, one thing is certain: life here carries a rare sense of balance between nature and human hands. Walking through Hunza's villages feels like stepping into living history. Traditional stone houses with flat roofs overlook the valleys, their designs adapted perfectly to the mountain climate. In narrow lanes, you'll hear laughter echoing off the walls, the sound of spinning wheels, and the gentle rhythm of daily chores carried out as they have been for generations. Above the town of Karimabad, the restored Baltit fort stands as a sentinel of Hunza's royal past. Built over 700 years ago, it once served as the residence of the Mirs, the rulers of Hunza, and as a key stop on the Silk Route. Its wooden balconies and defensive towers overlook the valley like a memory of trade caravans that once connected China, Central Asia, and the Indian subcontinent. Today, the fort is open to visitors, part museum, part viewpoint, and entirely a bridge between centuries. Beyond the towns, the mountains open to adventure. trekkers head toward the dramatic Pasu cones, a row of jagged granite peaks rising like stone spires against the sky. Near the village of Husseini, the Husseini suspension bridge sways above the Hunza River, a crossing that tests every traveler's courage. Each wooden plank leading to views that reward the brave. Hunza is also a place of learning. Many visitors are struck by its high literacy rate and the role of education in daily life, a reflection of a community that values progress without losing its roots. Women play an active part in schools, tourism, and crafts, shaping a society that blends tradition with quiet modernity. The best time to visit is from May to October, when the passes are open and the air is clear. In spring, the valley blooms in colors that seem almost painted. In autumn, apricot and poplar leaves turn golden, casting reflections across the river. Winter, though harsh, brings a silence that amplifies every echo from the mountains. At the meeting point of stone, sky, and silence, Skardu stands as the doorway to some of the planet's greatest mountains. This remote town in Gilgit-Baltistan is more than a destination. It's the launch point for adventure. Every climber, trekker, and traveler chasing the world's extremes eventually finds their way here. Surrounded by jagged peaks and glacier-fed valleys, Skardu serves as the base for expeditions to K2, the second highest mountain on Earth at 8,611 meters, as well as Broad Peak, Gasherbrum 1 and 2, and the Baltoro Glacier, one of the longest glaciers outside the polar regions. For mountaineers, it's a name spoken with reverence, a frontier between ambition and nature's raw power. But beyond the climbing world, Skardu is a region of immense beauty and cultural depth. The Indus River slices through its valley, its cold waters tracing a silver path between ochre cliffs. Villages scatter along the banks, their fields green against the barren backdrop. Life here is shaped by altitude and the rhythm of the seasons, brief summers of abundance, long winters of endurance. Above the town, the restored Shigar Fort rises from the desert plain, a stunning example of Balti architecture. Built in the 17th century by the Raja of Shigar, the fort once guarded the ancient trade routes that connected Kashmir, Ladakh, and Central Asia. Today it has been converted into a heritage hotel and museum, preserving both the craftsmanship and the hospitality of Baltistan's royal past. Walking through its wooden corridors, one can sense how caravans once rested here before continuing into the heart of the Karakoram. Just beyond Skardu lies a landscape that defies imagination. The cold desert of Katpana, often called the highest cold desert in the world. Here, dunes of fine white sand roll beneath snow peaks, creating a surreal contrast that feels almost otherworldly. In the still mornings, the light turns the dunes golden, and in the evening they cool under skies thick with stars. Despite the harsh conditions, Small settlements dot the desert, where locals cultivate hardy crops and graze livestock, adapting to a terrain that demands resilience. A few kilometers away, Upper Kachura Lake provides another face of Skardu, calm, clear, and reflective. Surrounded by dark pines and granite cliffs, the lake mirrors the surrounding peaks so perfectly that it feels like a portal into another world. In summer, families picnic on its shores, and small wooden boats drift across the glassy water. A short walk leads to Lower Kachura Lake, home to the famous Shangri-La Resort, named after the mythical paradise that travelers often associate with this region. For trekkers, Skardu is the beginning of countless journeys. Trails lead toward Deosai National Park, the land of giants, where golden marmots peek from burrows and Himalayan brown bears roam among wildflowers at 4,000 meters. Others continue deeper into the Baltoro Glacier, to the base camps of K2 and Concordia, one of the world's most spectacular mountain amphitheaters. Tourism here does more than inspire, it sustains local livelihoods. In the short summer months, guides, porters, and guest house owners earn the income that supports their families through winter. The community's commitment to ecotourism has also grown, with efforts to protect fragile alpine ecosystems and promote responsible trekking. Visitors are encouraged to carry out their waste, respect local customs, and tread lightly on the land that has sustained generations. Few places on Earth combine beauty and danger quite like Fairy Meadows. The Green Gateway to Nanga Parbat. The 9th highest mountain in the world, and one of its most formidable. Rising 8,126 meters, this massif dominates the western end of the Himalayas. Its summit often veiled in clouds. Locals call it Deo Mir, the mountain of the gods, but climbers know it by another name, the Killer Mountain. A title earned from the many lives it has claimed in pursuit of its icy crown. Yet before the cliffs and glaciers, there is peace. At about 3,300 meters above sea level, Fairy Meadows spreads like an emerald island beneath Nanga Parbat's north face. It's a natural amphitheater of wildflowers, alpine trees, and open sky. When the morning sun hits the peak, the entire meadow glows, green rolling into white, life brushing against the edge of eternity. Reaching this place is part of the adventure. From the small village of Raikot Bridge, travelers take a narrow, winding jeep track, often listed among the most thrilling drives in the world. The final stretch is done on foot, a gentle, scenic trek that weaves through pine forests and opens suddenly into the clearing that locals call Jute, the real name of Fairy Meadows. For centuries, this region has been home to Shina-speaking communities who live in small wooden homes scattered across the slopes. Their hospitality is as enduring as the landscape itself. Visitors are welcomed with hot tea, laughter, and stories of the mountain's moods. How it glows red before storms or hums when the wind shifts through its ridges. The first successful ascent of Nanga Parbat came in 1953 by Austrian mountaineer Hermann Buhl during a German-Austrian expedition. His solo climb without oxygen and through the night remains one of the most extraordinary feats in mountaineering history. But the story of Nanga Parbat is also filled with loss. From early 20th century expeditions to more recent tragedies, the mountain's beauty demands respect. Its scale reminds every visitor of nature's indifference to human ambition. Fairy Meadows offers a safer way to experience that power. From here, trails lead toward Bayal Camp, the advanced base camp for climbers. Along the way, hikers cross clear streams and pass shepherd huts, each step revealing closer views of Nanga Parbat's massive Raikot face, a wall of ice and rock that rises more than 4,500 meters from the valley floor, making it one of the highest mountain faces on Earth. Despite its proximity to such danger, life at Fairy Meadows is tranquil. At night, the stars scatter over the meadow, and the silhouette of Nanga Parbat looms like a ghost above the horizon. Campfires crackle, guides share tales of past expeditions, and the cold mountain air carries the sound of distant waterfalls. For travelers, the best time to visit is from June to September, when the snow has melted and the meadows are at their brightest. Basic lodges and campsites run by local families provide food and shelter. Their work has turned this remote area into a sustainable hub for tourism, supporting livelihoods while keeping traditions alive. Beyond the fertile plains of Punjab, where the land begins to shimmer under a white-hot sun, lies the Cholistan Desert. A sea of sand and silence stretching all the way to the Rajasthan border. Here, dunes roll like frozen waves. Villages appear as mirages, and the wind carries the whisper of forgotten kingdoms. At its heart stands Darawar Fort, a colossal sentinel of brick and dust. 40 bastions rising from the desert floor, visible for miles in every direction. It dominates the emptiness, its walls glowing red at sunrise and gold by dusk. Once the seat of power, now it's a relic, the Fort of Silence. Darawar was first built in the 9th century by Rai Jaja Bhati, a Rajput ruler of Jaisalmer, before it was captured and rebuilt by the Nawabs of Bahawalpur centuries later. Within its walls once echoed the footsteps of traders, guards, and rulers who commanded caravans across the desert routes, linking the Indus to the Thar. Today, the fort stands as both ruin and monument, a reminder of how empires rise, fall, and fade back into sand. The Cholistan, or Rohi as locals call it, may appear barren, but it pulses with life, fragile, enduring, and adapted to extremes. Nomadic tribes, descendants of those who served the Bahawalpur state, still travel between scattered settlements with their herds of camels and goats. Their tents of woven cloth are temporary, yet their traditions are timeless, embroidery passed from mother to daughter, songs that tell of love and loss under the stars, and festivals that celebrate resilience more than abundance. In this desert, water is wealth. Every drop matters. Ancient wells, some hundreds of years old, dot the landscape, hand-dug by early settlers and still used by the camel caravans that cross these plains. Around them, small communities have survived for generations, sustained by the rhythm of scarcity and ingenuity. Life here doesn't resist the desert. It learns to move with it. But Cholistan is not only history and hardship. Each year, for a few dazzling days, the stillness bursts into sound and speed. The Cholistan Desert Rally brings together drivers from across Pakistan and beyond. Engines roaring where once only the wind spoke. Amid the dunes, tradition meets adrenaline. Spectators cheer from the sands, camel herders pause to watch, and for a brief moment, the old desert feels alive again with motion and color. Outside of the rally season, travelers come to experience the desert's quieter charms. Camel safaris trace ancient caravan routes, leading to secluded oases and the ruins of small forts that once guarded trade and water. Nights in Cholistan are an experience of their own, when the sky becomes a planetarium of stars and the temperature drops enough for the sands to breathe cool air. The Bahawalpur royal legacy still lingers near palaces, shrines, and the echoes of an era when the Nawabs ruled this land with pride. Yet, what defines Cholistan today isn't its royal past, but the simplicity and strength of its people. The herders who guide travelers, the women who stitch mirrors into fabric so sunlight dances on their clothes, and the children who grow up with stories of sandstorms and stars, they are the real keepers of this land. Before there were empires or alphabets, before pyramids rose in Egypt or walls stretched across China, there was Mohenjo-Daro, the mound of the dead. Standing on the banks of the Indus River, this ancient city was the heartbeat of the Indus Valley civilization, one of humanity's earliest and most sophisticated urban societies. More than 4,500 years old. To walk through its excavated streets today is to step back into the dawn of organized life. Long before the idea of a city was even defined, the people of Mohenjo-Daro had already mastered it. The settlement was built on a precise grid plan, streets intersecting at right angles, houses aligned with remarkable uniformity. Beneath those streets ran a complex drainage and sanitation system, centuries ahead of its time. Each home, whether humble or grand, had access to clean water and private bathing spaces. It was a city that understood hygiene, planning, and order long before such words found meaning. At the city's center stood the Great Bath, a brick-lined, watertight pool that remains one of the oldest public water structures in human history. Archaeologists believe it was not merely for bathing, but for ritual purification, a communal act linking body and spirit. Nearby were granaries, meticulously designed to store grain for a thriving population, a hint at a society of farmers, traders, and craftsmen who lived not by conquest, but by coordination. Discovered in the 1920s by British and Indian archaeologists, Mohenjo-daro reshaped how the world understood ancient civilization. Until then, the cradle of progress seemed to belong only to Mesopotamia and Egypt. But the ruins along the Indus told a new story, that the roots of urban life stretched deep into South Asia. The city became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980, not merely for its age, but for its astonishing sophistication, a testament to human ingenuity in an age we once called prehistoric. By around 1900 BCE, the streets fell silent. The people vanished, leaving behind only pottery, seals, and the faint trace of their language. Standing among the ruins today, you can still trace the outline of homes, wells, and streets. The Citadel Mound overlooks the city like a patient witness to millennia of sun and wind. For modern travelers, Mohenjo-daro is both a museum and a mirror. It shows us that civilization isn't just about walls and writing. It's about how people choose to live together, how they design order out of chaos and meaning out of matter. If Pakistan had a pulse, it would beat in Karachi. The country's largest city, its financial engine, and its gateway to the Arabian Sea. Home to over 20 million people, Karachi never sleeps. It roars, hums, argues, and dreams, all at once. Here, the air smells of salt and spice, and the streets are a living map of everything Pakistan has become. Modern, messy, magnetic. Karachi is where fishermen haul their nets beside container ships, where software startups rise in glass towers built over colonial stone, and where history and hustle move in the same rhythm. The journey often begins at Mazar-e-Quaid, the white marble mausoleum of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Pakistan's founder. Its geometric purity and stillness feel almost unreal amid the city's constant motion, a reminder of ideals that built a nation from scratch. From there, the city unfurls in contrasts. The crumbling grandeur of Sadar Bazaar, with its British-era facades and crowded stalls, against the sleek skyline of Shara-e-Faisal and the sea breeze that rolls over Clifton Beach. By the sea, Karachi shows its softer side. Families gather under umbrellas at sunset. Children chase kites and waves. The horizon fills with silhouettes of ships and seagulls, a quiet pause before the chaos resumes inland. But Karachi is never just one thing. It's a city of layers and migrations. Sindhi, Balak, Pashtun, Punjabi, Mohajir, and beyond, each community adding its language, food, and rhythm. It's not harmony in the traditional sense, it's coexistence through motion. Everyone moves forward because stopping isn't an option. The city's culinary scene captures its spirit better than any skyline. On one street, you'll find bun kebabs sizzling on roadside grills. On the next, biryani pots the size of bathtubs, perfumed with saffron and heat. At midnight, chai dabas glow like beacons. Men talking politics over chipped cups, poets scribbling verses on napkins, truck drivers resting between journeys. Karachi's flavor isn't refined. It's raw, urgent, unforgettable. In recent years, the city has rediscovered its artistic pulse. The Karachi Biennale transforms public spaces into open-air galleries, where murals and installations speak of resilience, identity, and chaos turned into color. Music thrives again, from underground indie bands to Sufi fusion nights in converted warehouses. Film studios and digital creators fill the creative vacuum once lost to unrest. And yet, Karachi doesn't hide its scars. The traffic, the noise, the heat, the occasional power cuts, they're part of its vocabulary. Locals joke that living here gives you Karachi reflexes, the ability to cross a road, bargain at a market, and dodge a rickshaw all in one fluid move. It's a city that teaches adaptability and rewards it. The port of Karachi remains the country's trade lifeline, handling much of Pakistan's imports and exports. Just beyond it, the old fishing quarter of Kimari tells another story. Wooden boats, salt in the air, and men who've worked the same tides for generations. That's Karachi in a frame, skyscrapers in the distance, anchored in a sea of tradition. But perhaps Karachi's greatest monument isn't built of marble or steel, it's the spirit of its people. No matter how many times the city is tested, it finds a way to restart, rebuild, and reinvent. After floods, after political unrest, after everything, Karachi still wakes up the next morning with tea boiling and buses honking. It's not a city that invites calm, it demands engagement. To visit Karachi is to be swept up, to let its noise and energy pull you in until you start to understand its logic. The chaos is its choreography, the disorder, its design. As night falls, the skyline flickers, office lights, food stalls, neon signs reflected in the Arabian Sea. Somewhere, a poet reads in Urdu. Somewhere else, a band rehearses for a rooftop concert. Because Karachi doesn't rest, it creates, consumes, collides, and connects endlessly. It's not always easy to love, but once you do, you never stop. Stretching across the rugged coast of Balochistan, Hingol National Park is Pakistan's largest protected area. A landscape where stone seems alive, and silence carries its own echo. Covering nearly 6,000 square kilometers between the Makran Mountains and the Arabian Sea, Hingol is more than a wilderness. It's a living meeting point between nature and faith, earth and myth. The first impression is geological, a world sculpted by wind and time. Here, canyons twist like ancient corridors, and rock spires rise suddenly from the desert, glowing gold under the sun. Among these formations, two have become icons. The Princess of Hope, a slender, regal column of stone that appears carved by human hands. And the Balochistan Sphinx, whose eroded face and broad base give it an uncanny resemblance to its Egyptian counterpart. Whether shaped by erosion or destiny, both seem to watch over the vast emptiness, silent sentinels of deep time. Hingol is also a refuge for life adapted to extremes. Ibex and Chinkara antelope move across the ridges. Monitor lizards bask on rocks. Migratory birds find rest at the Hingol River, which cuts through the heart of the park before meeting the sea. Its waters, lined with tamarisk and saltbush, sustain pockets of green amid the desert browns, fragile veins of life in an otherwise severe terrain. Yet Hingol's identity isn't only natural. For centuries, it has been one of South Asia's most important Hindu pilgrimage sites. Deep inside the park lies the Hinglaj Mata Temple, also known as Nani Mandir, dedicated to the goddess Hinglaj, a form of Durga. Each spring, thousands of pilgrims from across Pakistan and India travel here, many on foot, enduring long days through the desert to offer prayers in a cave painted with vermilion. It's one of the few places in the country where faiths coexist quietly. Muslim fishermen, Hindu devotees, and Balak tribes all share the same land, bound by mutual respect for its sacredness. During the annual pilgrimage, local communities provide food, water, and shelter, a rare portrait of hospitality where belief transcends boundaries. The legends add their own color. It's said that when the goddess's tears fell upon this land, they turned into pillars of salt, still visible in the surrounding cliffs. Others believe the Hingal River itself carries her blessings and her temper, flooding only when the goddess is angered. Whatever one believes, there's no denying that the landscape feels touched by something older than any empire. But this balance between spirit and stone is delicate. Climate change, unregulated tourism, and coastal erosion threaten the fragile ecosystems that sustain the park. Conservation groups and local authorities now work together to manage visitor access and protect wildlife habitats. Small-scale ecotourism projects, often led by Balak guides, help bring income to nearby villages while educating travelers about the importance of preservation. For many visitors, the journey itself is as striking as the destination. The Makran Coastal Highway, one of Pakistan's most scenic roads, winds through the park, a surreal drive between sea and desert. On one side, cliffs drop into turquoise water. On the other, waves of rock stretch endlessly inland. It's a reminder of how raw and vast this region remains. A landscape still untamed. Stop anywhere along the road, and the silence is absolute. No buildings, no crowds, just the sound of the wind carving stories into stone. In that quiet, Hingal feels less like a national park and more like a natural cathedral, one where geology and divinity meet. For travelers, it's a place that humbles and renews in equal measure. You come for the formations, the history, the myth, but what stays with you is the feeling of being small beneath a sky that seems impossibly wide. Because in Hingal, every rock has a face, every shadow tells a story, and every traveler leaves with the same thought. This is not just a place to see, but a place to feel. Few cities in South Asia carry the weight of time quite like Multan, a place where history, faith, and art converge in shades of blue and gold. Often called the City of Saints, Multan has stood at the heart of southern Punjab for more than 2 millennia. Its skyline crowned not by skyscrapers, but by domes and minarets that shimmer beneath the desert sun. Long before it became a spiritual capital, Multan was a crossroads of empires, from the Indus Valley civilization to the Mughals and Sikhs. But it's not the rulers who left the deepest mark here, it's the saints. Their words, music, and teachings turned this city into one of the great centers of Sufism in the Islamic world. The most prominent of these is the shrine of Shah Rukni Alam, standing high above the old city like a crown of devotion. Built in the 14th century, its turquoise and white tiles, carved woodwork, and geometric brick patterns are masterpieces of early Islamic architecture in the subcontinent. The structure seems to breathe, quiet yet powerful, balanced between heaven and earth. Every day, pilgrims gather at its gates. Men, women, children, travelers from afar, all seeking blessings, peace, or simply a moment of connection. Nearby stands the shrine of Bahuddin Zakaria, founder of the Surawardiya order in South Asia. His teachings emphasize tolerance, compassion, and the unity of all humanity, ideas that continue to shape the city's soul. Inside the shrine, the air is thick with rose petals, incense, and the rhythm of qawwali, devotional songs that bridge faith and feeling. The verses rise and fall like waves, echoing through courtyards where candles flicker against blue-tiled walls. In Multan, spirituality isn't confined to rituals. It's part of everyday life. The tradition of langar, the communal meal offered freely to all, regardless of background, still thrives. It's a practice that mirrors Sufism's essence, service and humility. At sunset, when the call to prayer merges with the sound of drums and the smell of spiced lentils, the city feels suspended between the physical and the divine. The artisans of Multan have long mirrored this devotion in their craft. The city's famous blue tile work, or kashikari, is both art and offering. Each piece is hand-shaped, glazed, and fired in wood kilns, a process passed down through generations. The result is a palette of blues and whites that seem to capture the sky itself. These tiles adorn mosques, tombs, and walls, transforming stone into living color. Beyond its spiritual and artistic identity, Multan is a place of contrasts. The bustling bazaars overflow with copper lamps, embroidered shawls, and the scent of mangoes, the region's golden pride. The heat can be relentless, reaching well above 40 degrees Celsius in summer, but life continues unhurried. People pause for sweet lassi or cold sugarcane juice, exchanging greetings that sound like blessings. For visitors, the experience of Multan isn't only about seeing, it's about feeling. You walk barefoot on cool marble floors, hear centuries-old poetry sung in open courtyards, and sense that the city itself is whispering something timeless. That peace isn't the absence of struggle, but the presence of faith. And in a country as diverse and dynamic as Pakistan, Multan remains a spiritual anchor, a reminder that identity isn't built by walls or politics, but by hearts that continue to believe in love and coexistence. As night descends, the shrines glow in soft light, their domes reflecting the moon. Somewhere, a qawwal begins to sing again, his voice rising with devotion that needs no translation. In that moment, Multan is exactly what it has always been, a city where the human soul finds its echo. If Pakistan has a heartbeat, it's Lahore, a city that never stops moving, singing, or remembering. Known for centuries as the cultural capital of the subcontinent, Lahore is where history, pride, and everyday life blend into something far greater than the sum of its monuments. The city's story stretches back more than 1,000 years. From Mughal emperors to British colonials, every dynasty left its mark. And nowhere is that legacy more visible than at the Lahore Fort and the Badshahi Mosque. Standing face to face, they form one of the grandest architectural ensembles in Asia. The fort, with its carved gateways and mirrored pavilions, was once the seat of Mughal power, the place from which emperors surveyed the land they ruled. The Sheesh Mahal, or Palace of Mirrors, still gleams with fragments of colored glass that catch even the faintest light. Step outside its gates, and the vast courtyard of Badshahi Mosque unfolds. Red sandstone, marble domes, and a sense of symmetry that seems to quiet everything around it. Built by Emperor Aurangzeb in 1673, it remains one of the largest mosques in the world, capable of holding over 50,000 worshippers. The Anarkali Bazaar, said to be one of Asia's oldest markets, bursts with color and noise, jewelry, embroidery, street snacks, the aroma of cardamom tea and frying samosas. By evening, Gawalmandi Food Street takes over the city's senses. Stalls light up beneath strings of bulbs, and the air fills with the scent of kebabs, halwa, and freshly baked naan. Locals eat outdoors year-round, their laughter blending with the sizzle of grills. Lahore's food isn't just famous, it's an identity. From halim and nihari breakfasts to lassi served in clay cups, every meal feels like a celebration. Step away from the old quarters, and Lahore's modern side unfolds. Boulevards lined with cafes, art galleries, and bookstores. The Lahore Literary Festival draws thinkers and writers from across the world, while heritage walks through the old city, bringing the past to life in a way that no textbook can. The contrast is striking, a city ancient in soul but young in spirit. Green spaces like the Shalimar Gardens, another Mughal masterpiece, remind visitors that beauty has long been part of Lahore's DNA. Built under Shah Jahan in the 17th century, the gardens were designed around the sound of water, 400 fountains that once symbolized paradise on earth. Even today, their symmetry and stillness offer a rare pause in the city's constant motion. Lahore's role in Pakistan's modern history is equally profound. At Minar-e-Pakistan, in Iqbal Park, a single monument marks the site where the Pakistan Resolution was passed in 1940, the first formal call for a separate homeland. Standing beneath its towering arches, visitors often describe a quiet awe, realizing how words written here reshaped a nation's destiny. The people of Lahore have a saying, "Lahore, Lahore, I, Lahore is Lahore." As night falls, lights shimmer over the old Mughal walls, music drifts from rooftop cafes, and the hum of conversation fills the air. Lahore doesn't sleep. It simply changes pace. A city that remembers, celebrates, and dreams all at once. If you want to understand Pakistan, start with Lahore, because Lahore contains the country's pulse. At the northern edge of Pakistan, where the plains rise gently into forested hills, lies Islamabad, a capital unlike any other in South Asia. Built in the 1960s as a symbol of a modern, forward-looking Pakistan, the city stands between the Potohar Plateau and the Margala Hills, its clean avenues and green belts framed by a skyline of trees rather than towers. Islamabad's Faisal Mosque, designed by Turkish architect Vedat Dalokay, defines its visual identity, a modern reinterpretation of a Bedouin tent, with white marble spires reaching towards the hills. At night, the structure glows softly, visible from nearly every corner of the city, its stillness matching the quiet rhythm of life around it. Unlike Karachi's pulse or Lahore's exuberance, Islamabad moves at a different pace, deliberate, balanced, and reflective. Government buildings and diplomatic enclaves sit beside landscaped parks and lakes, creating a rare harmony between urban design and natural beauty. Beyond the city, the Margalla Hills National Park offers a network of hiking trails that ascend into cool pine forests overlooking the valley below. Trail 3 and Trail 5 are favorites among locals, ending in panoramic views where eagles glide above and the capital unfolds beneath. For birdwatchers, the hills are home to partridges, wagtails, and even the occasional leopard spotted deep in the forest. Down below, Daman Eco and Pir Sohawa are popular lookouts where residents gather to watch sunsets paint the city gold. Rawal Lake, a man-made reservoir, adds another calm retreat. Families picnic by its shores, and the air hums with the sound of prayer and laughter. Islamabad is also Pakistan's cultural and intellectual heart. The Lok Virsa Museum preserves folk traditions from every corner of the country: Sindhi ajraks, Balochi embroidery, Pashtun jewelry, a microcosm of Pakistan's cultural mosaic. Art galleries like PNCA and Tanzara showcase the country's evolving creative energy, while the city's cafes and bookshops host debates that mix politics with poetry. Though young compared to Lahore or Multan, Islamabad carries a quiet confidence. It represents what Pakistan aspires to be: organized, green, and forward-looking. Yet still rooted in its landscapes and traditions. The best time to visit is between October and April, when the air is crisp and the margallas are lush. The journey across Pakistan ends where it truly begins, in motion. From the turquoise rivers of Hunza to the dust-choked bazaars of Karachi, from the echoing forts of the desert to the peaks that pierce the clouds, this land is not a single story but 1,000 unfolding at once. In the north, shepherds guide their flocks beneath the shadow of giants, Rakaposhi, Nanga Parbat, and K2. While apricot blossoms turn the valleys pink each spring. In the south, winds carve patterns through the Cholistan sands, where fort walls still whisper of forgotten kingdoms. Between them flow the great arteries of life, the Indus and its tributaries, threading together farmers, fishermen, and poets who call its banks home. Pakistan is both ancient and young, a civilization reborn with every sunrise, every traveler, every story retold. Its landscapes invite awe, but its people inspire belonging. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments below.